Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So yesterday in my Purple Wedding video, I asked you to submit all your questions about the episode, as well as Season 4, so I picked 10 of them to answer in this video with one bonus question. We also have one new king to crown in the giveaway. Congratulations to Los Nogos, high fives. You win a $20 Amazon gift card. I'll be reaching out to you on your channel for contact details. You could either use it to buy something cool or help the crown repay its debt to the Iron Bank. I think it still owes them about 3 million gold coins, so that might put a dent in it. The next round of the giveaway will start next week whenever I post my episode 3 review on Sunday. All you have to do to participate is be a subscriber and leave a comment on those videos. So, let's speechify some Purple Wedding and answer some questions. Careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet, but here we go. Question number 1 comes from Santa Claus. Who was the voice Bran heard in his head? So he was actually hearing the voice of the Three-Eyed Raven, also known as the Green Seer. You can think of Green Seers as like extra powerful wargs with power over all of nature. It works a little differently from warging, but once Bran finds him, I think the show will explain that in greater detail. We actually do know quite a bit about the Green Seer himself. He used to be called the Blood Raven, and when he was alive, his real name was Brynden Rivers. He was the son of Aegon Targaryen IV and a Blackwood. The Blackwoods are from the Riverlands, so that's why his bastard name is Rivers and not Blackfyre. I'll actually be dedicating one of my Sunday bonus videos to the Blood Raven. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for that video. So since we're probably not going to see Bran again for 2 more episodes, I'll probably wait till before episode 4 to post that. Question number 2, Zalad asks, will we see Euron Greyjoy this season? So the strange thing about the Ironborn this season is that we might only see Theon's sister because she's headed to Moat Cailin, and that's also where Ramsay Snow is headed with Theon. Euron doesn't really appear until Book 4, and right now we're still in Book 3, where the show is right now. Even Daenerys stuff is still in Book 3 right now. I'm actually really hoping the show doesn't totally cut him out of the story because he's one of the more interesting book characters that we get to meet eventually. The interesting thing though is that his brother Victarion is a POV character, but Euron is not, even though Euron is kind of the more interesting one. Question number 3, Blake Targaryen asks, do you think that Daenerys dragons will ever reproduce? So I actually talked a little bit about this during my Dragon History bonus video, but dragons can actually switch genders. That means that Drogon could become a male, and Viserion and Rhaegal could become female. George R. R. Martin hasn't officially revealed anything about the dragons laying new eggs in the books, but I definitely think it's going to happen eventually. I'll be sure to post a link to that dragon bonus video in the description below. Question number 4. Jeffrey Baynaki asks, what did Joffrey do that makes everyone hate him so much? So I know you're just trying to play devil's advocate, but I'm just going to list off some of his more notable crimes against humanity. He had Sansa's direwolf lady killed, beheaded Ned Stark after he promised not to, forced Sansa to look at his head on a pike, ordered Sansa to be stripped and beaten in the throne room, killed Roz with a crossbow, turned Ser Dontos into his court jester, and ordered dwarves to reenact the War of the Five Kings. That Ser Dontos thing kind of seems to be coming back around on him just a little bit, and in real life Sophie Turner ended up adopting the wolf that played the direwolf, so there is a bit of a happy ending. Number 5. Dark Architect asks, I think Penny may have been the one under the wolf's head during the dwarf jousting. So after rewatching the episode, I actually saw a picture. Here, I'll actually put it up right now. I think this person's costume looks like Penny, like they made this prop to look like her. During this scene in the books, she actually rode a pig. If you want to reread that part in the books, it's actually in Book 3, Chapter 60. Question number 6, Jack O'Connor asks, do you think we'll see any White Walkers in the next 2 episodes? So there are scenes with the Wildlings and the Night's Watch in the next episode, but if we're just talking about the next 2 episodes, then I think we'll see that White Walker from the trailer, just because most of the trailer footage includes stuff from the first couple of episodes. I actually saw that a lot of you guys thought that White Walker in the trailer could have been Cold Hands. The footage isn't great and it's not a super close-up, so it's hard to tell. Cold Hands actually resembles more of a white than he does a White Walker, so they could just be making him look different. That could be him in the trailer. Question number 7, Lizbeth says, what about when the Red Viper kindly reminds Cersei that Myrcella is still living in Dorne? So I didn't have a lot of room in my review video, so I kind of had to leave it out, but yes, that was actually a really important and really interesting scene. It sounded like Oberyn was just suggesting that Myrcella was safe from all the awfulness by being in Dorne, but at the same time, it could have also been a threat, as in Myrcella was in Dorne and was at their mercy, and could be potentially subjected to all those things if the Martells wanted. Prince Doran is actually one of the more level-headed Martells, so I don't think they'd ever officially hurt Myrcella. Whenever they sent her down there, she actually became betrothed to one of the other young Martell princes. like one of the really young ones. The look on Tywin's face is pretty priceless though. It's like he's envisioning all the trouble that Oberyn's gonna cause him while he searches for more information about his sister. Question number 8. David McDowell Blue asks, what did you think Cersei is going to be like now? So you're talking about after Joffrey's death, but before that, she was on a tear, way before Joffrey ever started choking. One of my favorite moments is when that servant girl came up and muttered under her breath to Maester Pycelle, and Cersei just interrupts her and says, "Go see Qyburn." If you didn't catch it, she's just talking about getting an abortion. Cersei had also been talking about Qyburn in episode 1, as if she'd been using him to get like special drugs to help her sleep, like he's the shady doctor you would go to get free drugs. After this though, she's just going to be in mourning for a few episodes and generally horrible to everyone around her, way more than usual. In general though, I think things are just going to continue to get shittier and shittier for her though. Things just continue to get worse. Question number 9, Lady Zelda asks, is Jack Gleeson going off to complete his education now? So he did talk about wanting to quit acting and pursue higher education. He and his friends actually do a puppet show on the side whenever Game of Thrones isn't filming, so I don't think he'll ever completely leave the performing arts. He'll still do creative things, but he probably won't try to star in another big television series. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss actually said that they wouldn't be surprised if he ended up becoming a professor. So it sounds like he might just eventually enroll in a PhD program and try to become a professor, so you might actually be able to take a class from Professor Joffrey in the future. Question number 10, Nicholas Peloso asks, will we see more Littlefinger? He hasn't been around recently. So at the end of last season, Littlefinger went to the Eyrie to woo Catelyn's sister so that he could marry her and take her title and all her lands in the Vale. We will probably see him in episode 3 or 4, depending on how many King's Landing scenes there are. And one last bonus question, Chelly asks, what will happen to Marjorie now that she's the queen but Joffrey is dead? So Tywin and the small council will basically just kind of wash their hands of the marriage because it was never consummated. That just means there's grounds for an annulment. Side note, you probably could not divorce a corpse. But either way, she won't get to be queen. She'll just go back and live with her family. That's what that preview scene with her and Olenna was from the episode 3 clip. She was just talking about almost becoming queen, and Olenna is telling her that things are going to be better with Joffrey dead. So thank you so much guys for submitting all these questions. It's always a lot of fun to do these kind of videos. My next bonus video will probably be something about the conflict between the Wildlings and the Night's Watch, just because that's going to be a big deal in the next episode. Right now, click here to watch my review of the episode, and click here to get my bonus Purple Wedding video, where I just go a little bit more in detail about the wedding itself. So thank you so much for watching. This was a lot of fun. See you guys tomorrow. High fives.